It's like deja vu, Secretary of STEM. You just got off appropriations hearings. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Major Berg, first question. Active shooter training for state police, do you utilize technology? I was at a conference where they had almost a 360 room. The business actually could go into a courthouse or a school, film the entire courthouse, get the entire layout, and provide kind of real-life active shooter. I went through it. I got to admit, my hands were shaking afterwards. It was very surreal, watching coroners the whole 9 yards. Do you utilize that kind of virtual training within your active shooter?
We do, sir. At our academy, we have it's not quite 360 degrees, but it's live actors film that react to your verbal commands or the firing of a weapon that has a laser in it, and it can be used to simulate almost any scenario, including active shooters.
Excellent. And do you offer that to local municipalities as well, local police forces?
We do, sir. We have a whole training curriculum that's put through our Bureau of Training Education. It's offered to municipal police officers and our federal partners as well.
Excellent. Wonderful. Thank you. For the panel, looking back at just a rash of school shootings across the country, I believe there were different levels of points where it probably could have been addressed earlier on. Obviously, probably prevention is the best way to address this moving forward. If you address it ahead of time, you don't necessarily have to worry about the active shooter programs. So kind of looking back at all the scenarios that have happened across the various different states, we had an incident in York County. Central School was closed for 3 days. I know we're going to hear testimony from them later. But looking back, what weaknesses do we have on the prevention side, and what are your recommendations to address that moving forward?
We are an intelligence-led policing agency, as well as all of our partners. I think you won't find a law enforcement agency that isn't engaged in that. So across my desk every day, I see threats across the Commonwealth, and we have within our intelligence division and within PASIC, the Pennsylvania Criminal Intelligence Center, our Fusion Center, they're constantly assessing threats, either to individual schools or the Commonwealth as a whole at the strategic level. They're looking at every incident that occurs across the globe and across the United States. We have federal partners sitting in our space with us to do that collaboratively. And we send this information out not only to law enforcement in the forms of briefs and alerts and secure portals, but we also share it with all agencies, private sector, non-law enforcement entities, including we have a great working relationship with both my partners here at the table. If we have something that needs to go to all schools in Pennsylvania, we have a contact with Department of Education that can disseminate it down through the districts. So we're constantly assessing and trying to interdict these threats before they happen.
That's good. So that's probably on the criminal side. Within the school districts, is there any weaknesses at the school district level to help assess, whether it's a mental health condition, how does that collaboration between mental health professionals, school districts, law enforcement, what are the weaknesses within those relationships that we can do better? Is it HIPAA laws because of the federal government that they can't talk? What can we do better?
Sure. So one of the most important things that we can always continue to improve on is building relationships and internal communication. So a lot of the initial breakdowns are when folks see something that causes concern, whether it's a parent, a student, or staff member, and does not share that. That's usually the initial point of breakdown, and it's one of the reasons why the trainings, for example, that we provide, we fund 27 individuals in 27 out of our 29 IUs to do trainings, and part of that is to see something, say something. And so they try and train individuals in school settings to see something, say something. So that's usually the biggest point of breakdown. Once it's reported, there actually are mechanisms in place that do allow for the sharing of information, even protected information, if it can put at jeopardy the health and safety of students. There are provisions in the law that do allow for information to be shared from school district personnel to law enforcement, for example. There are always ways to improve those engagements, as well as within the mental health support community, and we'd be open to talking more about that, and would look forward to collaborating with the General Assembly where there are opportunities.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.